All right, starting chapter 15. This would probably be my favorite chapter if I had to make a decision. But this is dealing with Darwin and evolution, specifically natural selection. I add an extra section here just to go over some terminology that I want to review before we get into evolution and its concepts. So this is just that first little section about the terminology of like science. So I play a pretty cool video at the beginning of class. It just talks about where we came from, and it's a Bill Nye video, but I won't show that here. I'll try to link that if I do post this on Google Classroom. So basically, I want to review that science is man's observation of the physical world. This is us making observations, looking for patterns, analyzing, taking data, and then analyzing it. But one of the things I want to go over is I don't believe in anything I teach. So it doesn't sound right. I don't believe in anything I teach. We're going to go over the concept of belief here in a little bit, but I don't believe in anything I teach. And again, you might be like, well, you're a science teacher. You should believe in everything you teach. I don't believe in anything I teach because belief and evidence are two different things. So, to give you an example, I don't believe that you're made of cells. I can visually observe that you are made of cells. I can take your skin and look at the cells that make up your skin. So there's nothing to believe here because there's evidence to support everything that we talk about in class. If there wasn't evidence for it, we wouldn't be talking about it. We wouldn't be discussing it. So having belief in something and then having evidence in something are two different things. So again, a belief is a claim not supported by evidence. So aliens exist. This is one of my beliefs, and I will never force a belief onto a student. Again, aliens exist. I think they exist. I kind of hope they exist. But again, this is a belief because there's no evidence that supports this. Now, you may say, "Oh, well, they have Roswell. Oh, they have all these pictures." That's not scientific evidence. It's not repeatable. We don't get the same observations when we repeat the experiment unless we get an alien that comes down. We can't say that aliens exist. So that is one of my beliefs, though. A hypothesis. We talk about it's being an educated guess, but one of the things we're going to talk about in kind of going further is this idea that it has to be testable. If it's not testable, it's not a hypothesis. We can't test, what I can't even think of a good example of something we can't test right now, but it has to be able to be testable in order for it to be a good hypothesis or a scientific hypothesis. The bell will ring at the end of the period. We can test that. We can, have monitors. We can use our ears. We can record things. We can test this hypothesis. So this is a good hypothesis. Good, I should say, scientific. Fact. This is an observation that can be repeatedly confirmed, and it says here which one of these is a fact. The universe is expanding. The universe will keep on expanding. The first one here is a fact. The second one here is a hypothesis. We know the universe is expanding because we have tons of data. We have our satellites that are using. I'm trying to think of the word. Kind of like or lenses and big scopes to see that the Earth is and other planets are moving away from each other, and the universe is expanding. Will it keep on expanding? We think so, and all data supports that, but we just don't know, and that's going to be hypothesis. Actually, scientists do think at some point it's going to stop expanding and kind of implode in on itself, but that's in billions of years. So you don't have to worry about that. A law. This is a big misconception. A lot of people think, oh, when theories gain more evidence, they become laws. Theories and laws will never become each other. Laws describe what happens, and then theories describe how and why something happens. So again, this describes what is happening. So like F equals ma, force equals mass times acceleration. A lot of times these laws are going to be more mathematical in nature. They differ from a theory because theories describe how and why things happen. So these are different than a law because they're explaining how something happens, and you can actually use these to be able to predict things. And these are actually able to change, and that's one of the parts that people don't like about this is they're able to change. They want science to be yes, no, black, white, easy. This is what it is, 100%, and that's not what science is. Science is self-checking, and that idea is kind of hard to teach people about because it is self-checking. We do change theories or we do add on to theories and manipulate theories, but the whole basis of the theory is that it's supported by all of the evidence. If there's any evidence that would disprove a theory, it wouldn't be a theory, we'd throw it out. So all of the evidence that we've gathered to this date supports the theory of evolution. There's no evidence, no scientific evidence that disproves the theory of evolution, at least in the peer-reviewed form. And that's that you have to have that peer reviewed scientific data to actually present data. You can't just say, well, I don't think it's true, and so it's not true. No, you have to have it in a scientific, peer reviewed journal. Evolution is a theory because there's a huge amount of indisputable evidence for its occurrence. Theories do not become laws with more evidence. That's the big key here. Theories do not become laws with more evidence. The people think that once you get more evidence for a law, it becomes or I'm sorry, for a theory, it becomes a law, and that's not true. They just describe two different things. Here's how I like to describe it. You have a how and a why, and then laws describe what. You can see here how and why, laws describe what. So this is one way I describe it. You can see here, there is some image behind this, kind of like a curtain here. I always describe it as you're finding points here, and these are our points of data. If we have these 4 points of data, what do you think the shape is? And in this case, it could be a square, could be a diamond, could be a circle, could be could still be a triangle. We could have the triangle right here. We could have a star. There's a bunch of things that we could get here, and then what we do is we find more evidence. And you can see, okay, well, it's probably not going to be a triangle anymore because it doesn't fit the pattern here. Could still be a circle. It could be one of these, like, I don't even know what, shape this would be, but maybe like an octagon, I think. Yeah, there's 8 sides here. And then we keep on getting more and more evidence. More and more evidence starts pointing to, okay, well, it's not an octagon. Maybe it's a little something different. And then we get all this data. Now, this is like the theory of evolution. We can say all of the data supports that this is a circle, but we can't say for sure 100% this is a circle because there could be some data over here that makes this look like a sun, or there could be like an inner circle here we don't know about. But all of the data here right now supports that this is a circle. There's no data that disproves that this is a circle. That's what a theory is. All the data supports, and then again, we're waiting for more data to disprove. And until we find that data, if there is any, this is a theory. There's a lot of confusion because on TV you can see I have a theory about your insomnia. This is not a theory. This is a hypothesis. It's just horribly used, and even in science, media, it's just not the best. Or like I should say, science shows. It's just not used correctly. And there's it's like there's the scientific term, and then there's like the media and layman's terms of what a theory is. If you say it's just a theory here, I don't have a basic understanding of science. Yeah, this is my last slide. We're going to go for 15.1. Again, when you say that, it's just showing that you don't understand what the term theory really is.